Hey there, and welcome to No Recipe Required. I'm Dave. Tonight I'm going to do a risotto for you. I do, risottos probably once a month, once every 2 months or so. I absolutely love them. You can do so many things with them. It happens to be spring outside today. Well, today, this month, this whole season actually. So I'm going to do an asparagus risotto for you. Great spring vegetable, and it goes super well with risotto as well. Let's go ahead and get to it. Okay, it's time to start our asparagus and lemon risotto. I'm going to start it up just like I do all my risottos. A little bit of olive oil in the pan, some shallot and garlic. I'm going to let these vegetables sweat over medium heat. I don't want to brown them. And once they are toasted a little bit, or once they are soft and have been turned into translucent, we'll add our rice to toast that. Okay, it doesn't take long for those onions, or for that shallot and garlic to soften up. So I'm going to add my risotto and just continue to cook that in the pan. It was looking a little dry, so I'm going to add just a touch more olive oil. And I'm going to let the rice toast in the pan for probably 5 minutes or so. And then we're going to deglaze with a little bit of wine, and then we'll keep going with our risotto. Okay, after 5 minutes or so, our rice has toasted, become a little translucent itself, and I'm going to add about half a cup of wine. I'm using Sauvignon Blanc from our friends over at Banshee Vineyards. It's an awesome wine. We're going to let this wine just reduce down, just like we normally do with the stock. As we go along and we cook risotto, once it's essentially evaporated, we'll be left with that great flavor. We're going to start adding chicken stock. While we're doing this, I'll blanch off some asparagus, which will be our addition. I'll zest a lemon, which is going to be our taste of lemon, or a hint of lemon in the risotto, and we'll be good to go. So once the wine is reduced, we're just going to continue to add stock to the risotto, let it reduce, let the rice absorb and cook until we get to that nice al dente texture. This will probably take anywhere from 20 to 25 minutes or so, and you don't have to constantly stir, but maybe come over, give it a stir every 2 to 3 minutes or so, and then you'll be good to go. Okay, so my risotto has been going now for about 20 minutes, and I just tasted some of the rice, and it is that perfect al dente. So let's go ahead and finish our risotto off. I'm going to add a few things. Here I've got just under a tablespoon. We'll call it 3/4 of a tablespoon of lemon zest. I've also got my asparagus. This is 3 or 4 spears chopped up, and I actually saved the tips of the asparagus so that we can garnish the top of our risotto. I've also got a couple pats of butter. That's about a tablespoon. Now normally I add mascarpone cheese to my risotto, but two things happened today. One, I just realized I'm out of mascarpone cheese. I do have a little bit of cream cheese, so I'm going to swap it out. I'm actually going to use less though than I normally would for, say, a mushroom risotto or many of the other risottos that I make. Partially because this is a very springtime risotto. We got the lemon, the asparagus, so leaving some of that cheese out keeps it a little lighter, a little less kind of creamy, heavy, rich. I'm going to do the same thing with the Parmesan cheese. I'm going to add some, but maybe a little bit less than I normally would. Add a pinch of salt, add a little bit of fresh ground black pepper, and then I'm going to stir all these in over low heat to make that nice creamy consistency that risotto has. And once these are in, I'm just going to give it a final taste, adjust seasoning, salt and pepper if needed, and then we'll serve it up. Okay, let's plate up our asparagus and lemon risotto. Drop it right, obviously, into the middle of a beautiful little pasta bowl here. And the amount of asparagus you use, totally up to you. I like 3 or 4 spears, maybe 5 spears for 2 people. And then you can also save some of those tips of the asparagus and just kind of dot them right on top, make it very clear what you're eating. And then finally, you may not have it, this is optional. I happen to have some Meyer lemon risotto, or Meyer lemon olive oil, and just a little drizzle here and there just adds a little bit of that lemony flavor along with the good deliciousness that olive oil has. I'll see you next time on No Recipe Required.